Connor, if you remember the last few episodes we did, you made me look like a hater.
Payback.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. People of Earth, I am Darkseid, Lord of Apocalypse.
Service with a smile? I know about all your other major enemies, but you never mentioned him. He was the biggest, wasn't he?
Oh, come on. It's Lex Flippin' Luthor. Why should we trust him?
What? Like a bunch of super friends?
More like a Justice League.
Connor, a villain we were just talking about has an episode, Birds of a
back
Feather.
already.
The Penguin is back, and he is reformed, question mark? What did you think of this episode?
This is actually probably, like, my favorite episode with the Penguin so far. Like, I liked the last episode better, but, I mean, kind of an episode that focuses on the Penguin.
Well, I completely agree.
So far, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it felt like they, like, took some huge inspirations from the Batman Returns Penguin, because he does a lot of things in this that's very similar to that, like the bit where he has the underground sewer thing with the big duck,
Yes.
and he's eating a fish and all that sort of stuff.
The duck's gonna come back.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
I love that this
It's my
penguin's
favorite
like, he's not Batman Returns Penguin, but he's pretty close to Batman Returns Penguin. I love it.
Yeah. He's not as goofy as Batman Returns Penguin, which is weird because
He's not
I
as
think he'd be more.
yeah, he's not as goofy or as dark. He's more like he's like sophisticated, but still makes a fool of himself. But he's still got some of that Batman Returns Penguin in him. Like, of course, he's deformed and all that, but
Yeah,
like
he's
some
not
of
as
his-
creepy as Batman Returns Penguin.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I thought he was a lot better written in this episode, and I thought that like he was trying to be reformed until the end, where obviously he wasn't. I just like bad things kept happening to him, and then he ended up not being that way.
Yeah, I think he was actually like going that way, and he was about to be reformed, but just bad circumstances, people treating him like garbage.
Yeah,
Kinda
exactly.
turns him towards crime again.
Like he was trying to be good, but just things weren't working out for him. Which is kind of like that's why I think I like this as the best Penguin episode yet as well, is because of that. Because there's layers to him.
Yeah, he has a lot of layers, and like he's really sympathetic in this episode. Because even when Batman's not trusting him at the beginning, and he's actually doing right and all that, like you kind of feel bad for him. Like you want to see Batman to see like the best in him, but he's already done so much that Batman like can't really see it at first.
I like the scene with Bruce meeting Oswald.
Yeah, that's like you can tell that's when Bruce kind of starts to think that he's actually going straight.
Yeah. You're like, oh, maybe he's not so bad. I mean, it was sad at the start when he thought he was getting a party from Joker and Two-Face and all them.
Oh yeah, that was great. He just walks in, he's like, Joker, Two-Face.
Joker, old shoe, is that you? Yeah, that was good.
I hated, I'm sure you did too, because he was meant to be a hated character, but I hated the flamboyant rich guy.
Yeah.
He was
the
such
thing,
an
like,
asshole.
The girl Veronica, I think her name was, and then that rich guy I didn't really like them too much. They were kind of the only weak points of the episode for me.
Have we seen Veronica Vreeland yet before this episode?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I know she shows up a few times after this, but I didn't know if this was her first episode or not.
I didn't remember her when I saw her in this.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like her and like Summer Gleason like kind of like go together.
I thought she was Summer at first. She looked like her.
because they're both redheads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait, we've seen her before, right? And then I was like, no, that's Summer Gleason. Either way, I don't like either of their characters.
Yeah, they're not the best. Because there's not really too much to them.
Oh no,
like
definitely
they're
not.
just kind of pretty basic.
Yeah, like Vreeland's always there to either be like the damsel in distress, or like she was in this episode where she's just like a jerk.
Yeah, exactly. Like she was just using Penguin. Penguin's trying to be nice.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't
He's kind of the
blame
reason why
Penguin for wanting to kill them.
Yeah.
And taking their money. Screw
I
those
don't
guys.
blame him for bringing them underground and putting them on docks.
And I always hate it when this stuff happens, like when girls are like being assholes and stuff towards like some guy that may not be like that attractive or whatever, and then like they start to get feelings for them, and they Like how she's telling Penguin, you know, I really was starting to get feeling tree. I'm like, why are you telling him this now when he's getting arrested and all that? Like, just shut up.
The very end.
Just shut up,
Penguin.
Veronica.
Just stop. Yeah, honestly, I would like to see more Penguin episodes if they were like this and less like I've got Batman in my basement.
Yeah, see, when your initial reaction to the Penguin in the show after I've got Batman in my basement, how you just thought he was weird and like just extremely weird and like written dumbly. When I told you he got better, this was the main episode I was thinking of because I do love this episode a lot, and I think Penguin is written extremely well.
Yeah, because there's more to him than just a villain.
Oh yeah, definitely, and you saw that. Like, I guess you kind of saw that he doesn't really want to be a villain, but like society pushes him away, so he feels like he has to be.
Yeah, like he. Blackgate?
Yeah, he goes to Blackgate.
Yeah. He comes out like, you know, he wants to be a nice guy and just can't make it because the villains don't come to a super party.
That's something else interesting about the Penguin. I think, isn't he pretty much, aside from like Catwoman, the only Batman villain that doesn't go to Arkham?
Yeah, I think so. Mainly because he's not insane.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Mr. Freeze isn't insane, but he goes to Arkham. I guess because
I feel like the Penguin seems like he's more of a human, I guess, in a way that the other villains aren't. Like, the other villains seem crazy. Penguin seems like he's always kind of aware of what he's doing. He knows kind of the scenarios he's in.
Yeah, it seems that Penguin has like more rationale to him, I guess.
Yeah, he has more of a grasp on reality. Because I feel like when Nora dies, Victor kind of loses it.
Yeah, aside from Nora, which is his main motivation, Freeze is close to that, but like his emotions drive him more than anything.
Yeah.
More than logic does. So yeah, it makes sense. So, Connor, do you have anything to add on this episode?
No, I think we've covered it a lot. Just, more episodes like this and less like Batman in my basement.
Yeah, there are going to be more episodes like this without the Penguin, like in the sense that there are going to be villains that try to reform in the future.
Yeah, I feel like this does for Penguin. It's not as good, but I think it does for Penguin what Hard Advice does for Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I can see that. For this like take on the character, at least for this, because some versions are like the mobster Penguin, which is like the crime boss mobster guy, and that's the version I prefer. But for the more Penguin like rich upper class, you know, like this version of the Penguin, I think this is probably about the best it can be done.
Yeah, for sure.
So Connor, do you want to give some letter grades?
Sure. I would give it a B+.
Okay, I'm gonna give it an A-.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, making me look like a hater again.
Really strong episode. Hey, Connor.
Yeah, it was.
Connor, if you remember the last few episodes we did, you made me look like a hater.
Payback.
Yeah, so getting into what is reality, the return of Edward Nygma. So Connor, your favorite Batman villain, Riddler and Two-Face. We get the return of Riddler. You were a bit disappointed in his introduction episode, while I loved it. So, what do you think of this episode?
So this is the second appearance of Riddler, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just not digging this version of Riddler. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just not. It's not what I expected. I thought this was a pretty average episode. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was terrible. And there were a lot of good stuff, like seeing more Jim Gordon's great, because we haven't gotten too much Jim Gordon stuff over the course of the show, so far at least. When Batman was inside the virtual reality, I thought that the scenes looked really cool. Like, there was some really cool videos, like the chessboard bit was really cool, but it didn't remind me of a Riddler kind of trap. It reminded me more of if Batman was on fear toxin from Scarecrow, or like this,
like a kind of like Perchance to Dream, where a Mad Hatter has the dream machine.
Like, I know that it made sense because he was inside the virtual reality, but it didn't. It felt more like a different Batman villain than what Riddler would do. I liked how Batman beat him. But I don't know, I just can't take this version of the character. I think it did have some of the coolest visuals we've seen yet. It was cool seeing more Robin, because, you know, Dick Grayson's great. Yeah. Riddlerville as well.
It sounds like we're about on the same page with this episode,
wow.
Connor.
You're gonna love it.
I loved the Riddler's introduction episode a lot more than I like this episode. Like you said, I don't think this is a bad episode, but it's not a very good episode either. It's pretty average.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think, like, if like technology was a bit more advanced back then, would this episode be better? Because, like, was virtual reality even really like a thing like it is now back then?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
Yeah, because I think they were kind of just tossing, like, their hat into the pile on the virtual reality thing, because...
Yeah.
Like, they don't do virtual reality bad, but it's just kind of weird, especially with the Riddler, like you said.
It doesn't feel like virtual reality.
No, not at all. It just kind of feels like you're in a computer game, but it doesn't feel like everything around you is real, which is what virtual reality is supposed to be.
Like, it's a cool concept. I just think it would work better with a different villain than Riddler, because it seems a little bit too over the top for what Riddler would do.
Yeah, I think it would have worked better with, like, a Mad Hatter.
Yeah, exactly. Because while Riddler does do over the top schemes a lot, he tries to do it more about, like, head to head, see who's smarter between the two. Not kind of putting Batman into, like, a virtual reality scenario and seeing if he can escape it. It's more so trying to do something to one up Batman and keep one upping him.
Yeah, and at the end, to save Gordon, he has to solve, like, the Baxter's box thing, which Robin knew how to solve and all that, so he threw Robin out of the game or whatever, shocked his helmet. So the radio was fried or whatever, but, like, you could do that in the real world instead of doing it in this virtual reality world.
Yeah, exactly. And I probably would like it better if it was more real.
Yeah, instead of having, like, say, if Batman couldn't solve that or whatever, Gordon was trapped in there, you could have just done, if Batman couldn't solve it, it'd blow up and Gordon's gone forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Also, it ended with, like, Riddler stuck in it as well.
Yeah, that was interesting because the game, like, crashed while he was still in, so I don't... It's like his consciousness is in there, I guess, but he's obviously still alive in the real world, but it's just a weird thing when this kind of stuff happens. Yeah.
It's like, cool concept, but probably shouldn't be Riddler.
Yeah, cool concept, could have been executed better. Maybe if it was later on down the line when virtual reality was more of, like, a relevant thing, it could have been better. Yeah. And if it was just a different villain as well, like you've been saying.
It also seems like it would work well for a Justice League episode.
Yeah, you could do some cool things. But, yeah, Connor, so you want to go ahead and give this one some letter grades?
Sure, yeah, just, like, completely average. I had to give it a C.
Yeah, I completely agree. A C.
Oh, yay, not a hater this time. Neither of us are.
Yeah, we didn't go low, we didn't go high, we went straight in the middle.
Yeah, it was still interesting. Like, I think the visuals made it for me. That was the thing I liked the most, is, like, especially when they were going through, like, Orion and all that inside the virtual reality machine.
Yeah, also something I noticed with this episode is, like, the actual riddles, I don't think were nearly as good as the last time.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is what kind of helps make a Riddler episode really good, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Connor, next time we will be talking about I Am the Night, Off Balance, and The Man Who Killed Batman.
Oh, I wonder if I'll have seen them by then.
I hope so, Connor. I don't want to do an episode alone.
It'll be the podcast of one member.
Tell me, Riddler, how can you split your focus in 32 directions and sustain the concentration it takes to keep your world together? You can't! No!